How's it going, everyone? This is Bass here, and today I'm going to be bringing you my first iteration of a Packers mock draft in this what is hectic Packers offseason and completely altogether NFL offseason. I'm not as advanced on the draft right now as most people. I tend to get really into it when it gets even closer. But right now, I just want to start with just a baseline of a mock draft just to kind of get the juices rolling and whatnot. I'm going to do a 7-round mock draft. The Packers are projected to have around 10 picks. They're going to have 3 compensatory picks. Over the Cap has them having a 4th, a 4th, and a 6th. But the site I'm going to be using for the mock draft, which is PFF, has them getting a 4th, a 5th, and a 6th. So it's going to be a little different there than what it might actually be. But generally speaking, the Packers are going to have 10 total picks. So let me start this off by saying, like I said, I don't know all these prospects right now. So if I don't know a lot about your favorite player from North Louisiana Tech University, I'm sorry. But I don't know everything about every player right now. This is just going to be, I'm going to basically be drafting for need and looking at the PFF rankings and big board and all that and basing my picks off of that. So to get this started on the website here, Packers are picking 29th. I'm going to put the speed on a little bit slow right now so we can kind of go over some of the other picks in the league, see if anything weird happens or whatnot. And all these are going to about stay the same. Draft for need, go up a tick there. So as of right now, the Packers pick 29th, and then in the second round they pick 62nd. In the third round, 92nd. In the fourth, 135th. Another one in the 4th at 142. A 5th, they have 174 and a 178. And 6th, they have 215, 221, and in the 7th, they have a 254. I'm not going to be doing any trades in this iteration. In future mock drafts, I probably will end up doing some trades, but for right now, I kind of just want to keep it vanilla, if that makes sense. So if we go on here and enter the draft here, so obviously you know the pretty much first round draft order, and you know probably most of the prospects in the first round. You know, Trevor Lawrence and all those guys is obviously, you know, Jaguars are going to take Trevor Lawrence. So we'll just get this started now, and with the first pick they choose Trevor Lawrence, of course, and I'm going to pause it if anything weird happens. So Justin Fields going 2 to the Jets, I could see that. You don't know what you have with Sam Darnold. So with the Dolphins, they're going to take Sewell. I mean, that's typical. Jamar Chase to the Falcons is very interesting because, you know, I thought maybe they might take a QB of the future. Obviously, I think they're still going to be running Matt Ryan, but someone like Trey Lance or something here might be kind of a future pick. But Jamar Chase is very interesting because if you have Ridley, Chase, and Julio, that's, you know, a very good receiving core there. All right, then Waddle. See, this is where it gets a little weird. The Eagles taking Trey Lance. I just don't get that because why draft Jalen Hurts last year? They already have such a weird quarterback room with Carson Wentz and Jalen Hurts. I just don't see the benefit of bringing in a third guy, especially a 6 overall pick. I think that just makes it even more messy. So, yeah, I don't know about that. Like, quarterback could be a need for the Eagles, but I just don't see that. Lions, Kyle Pitts. That's a very Lions pick, especially after taking Hawkinson in the first few years back. That's a very Lions pick there to take Kyle Pitts. Honestly, I could see that. And then the Panthers taking Parsons, great pick there. Kuechly's, you know, now gone, great pick. Devonta Smith to Denver, I could see that. Tackle to Dallas, of course. Zach Wilson to the Giants. That's a very good pick there. Honestly, Zach Wilson going before Trey Lance would probably be the most realistic thing, but the Giants getting Zach Wilson 11 would be a steal for them. And I feel that's something they could, you know, pick in the first round, a quarterback, because let's face it, Daniel Jones hasn't been great. Fumble machine, just hasn't really won any games. And I know win-loss isn't a quarterback stat, but, you know, he hasn't helped them win any games. So Zach Wilson there is definitely an interesting one. Patrick Surtain, yeah, I really wanted him in Green Bay. Obviously, he's going to go right around here, maybe a little bit later. His dad was a really good player. And I just think the Packers might take a cornerback in the first or second round, and him, Samuel, and Horn are kind of the 3 I was looking at there. So sucks to see him go at 12. D-line Barmore to the Farley goes to the Vikings. Okay, Trayvon Moehrig to the Patriots is interesting. I feel, you know, they might take a quarterback there, but then again, if you look at who is already drafted, you really only have Mac Jones left, and Trask, which I just don't see them taking that early. Knowing Bill Belichick probably would trade down there. I don't see them taking a safety like that right there, but you never know. Maybe they would have taken a receiver. If you go to the wide receivers left, I think Jamar Chase was taken, Smith was taken, and then it's kind of a little bit of a drop off there. Yeah, Bateman's kind of the next guy. So yeah, I feel like the Patriots would trade there. Cardinals take Bateman next, obviously. Vera Tucker to the Raiders. Owa to the Dolphins. Tevin Jenkins to the football team. Sorry for that pause there. Was very tempted to say Redskins. I think one of the newest mocks, I forget who had Tevin Jenkins going to the Packers. I just don't see it. They've Ricky Wagner under contract. I think they're going to keep him. He can play tackle. Billy Turner can play tackle. I mean, hell, Elton Jenkins can play tackle. David Bakhtiari, obviously you don't know how quick he's going to come back, but I can see them bringing back Lane Taylor as well, which is a very versatile guy. I just don't know if the Packers would necessarily draft a tackle in the first round unless it's like great value. J.C. Horn, another corner I like, going to the Bears. That sucks. Nick Bolton to the Colts. Kwity Paye to the Titans, and the Jets are taking Dylan Radmans. Sorry if I mess up some of these names too. Some of these names are some I haven't seen or have yet to even try to pronounce, especially like Jeremiah Owusu-Koroma. I heard he's actually a pretty good linebacker. That's the first time I tried to actually pronounce his last name, but I heard he's actually a pretty good linebacker. I was thinking about maybe looking at him if he fell to 29, but he didn't. So we keep it on. The Browns are going to take Asante Samuel. That sucks. I thought and Rondale Moore right after him. Those are two guys I really wanted. And then Mac Jones goes. So right now you're in a very interesting situation. Rousseau is, a one-year college player at edge. I don't trust taking him in the first round there. Then you got a tackle. You got Ojulari, who I don't know much about. It said he was one of the biggest risers with his play in 2020. He was a pure speed rusher. So great speed rusher, it seems. He had a 90.0 overall grade in 2020, a 91.7 pass rushing grade. This is also dependent on, what if the Packers do sign J.J. Watt? Obviously, taking an edge in the first round might not be ideal if they're already shoring up some of that front seven. But this guy looks like a good prospect, and you can never have enough pass rushers. And then, of course, you have another pass rusher in Jalen Phillips. Zaven Collins is a decent one here. He's an off-ball, like I said, he's not your typical off-ball linebacker. It says he dominates backs and blitz pickup and can chase him down in space as well. So it looks like he's a bigger, heavier linebacker, and I feel like Chris Barnes is kind of already taking that role. So I don't know if that's exactly the guy I would choose there. So then it comes down to a lot of people's favorite, Kadarius Toney, wide receiver. So he's the most dangerous player in the draft with the ball in his hands, it says. And he's broken 32 tackles on 80 catches over the past 2 seasons. And he had an 84.0 overall offensive grade in PFF, which is the 16th wide receiver in college football. I love this guy. Like I looked in a little bit of his tape before. And honestly, I think that's something the Packers have been missing at wide receiver. Obviously, Davante's already a shifty guy. But I think Toney would just add a little bit more, kind of like an Ayuk kind of guy. And since I'm not doing any trades, I'm actually going to take him round 1. Kadarius Toney out of Florida, the Packers' first round pick. All right, to sum up the back end of the first round, Jalen Phillips from Miami to Buffalo, Darius Washington from TCU to Kansas City, and Cosme from Texas to the Bucs, which I could see happening, even though their offensive line played pretty damn well, won them a Super Bowl. Jaguars take Ojulari, I really liked him. Rizzo to the Jets, I could definitely see that happening. I'm going to kind of keep it speeding here. Basham, I liked at edge to the Dolphins because as we get farther down the list, I kind of have less insight about certain players because I don't know them or haven't seen much on them. So I'm going to talk about Eddie into the Lions. That's a little weird with Swift last year, but whatever. I'm going to talk a little bit about the Packers' needs right now while this kind of runs down the list. Corner, D-line, edge, O-line, linebacker, and running back. This is based on the fact that they wouldn't bring back Aaron Jones, Jamal Williams, Corey Linsley, Kevin King. Could potentially bring back Jamal. I'm not sure yet, but like I said, if you saw in one of my previous videos, the free agent pickups, I could see them definitely targeting James White if they don't bring back Jamal, and even if they do bring back Jamal, I think Aaron Jones is pretty much as good as gone now. So I think the Packers drafting a running back within like the mid rounds is definitely a pretty solid statement. I feel like they'll definitely take a running back in the mid rounds. So after that, we are on to our pick, and if we go up, wow, Patriots got Trask there. I'm just going to go up to the second round and kind of go over some things that I might have missed. Walker Little, the Panthers, that's a good pick there. Like I said, Eddie into the Lions is interesting, especially like I said when they drafted Swift last year. But hey, it's the Lions. They in this draft they got Pitts, who's a really good tight end, and another running back who they spent first round picks on the past 3 years. So whatever, it's the Lions. So if we keep going down, Jevon Holland is another guy, a corner that I was looking at. Greg Newsome and Eric Stokes. So a lot of corners going, which is not great. And if we look at who we have available here, Melifonwu from Syracuse. I don't know much about him. He's 6'3". He definitely fits that Packers corner mold. I feel like this definitely would be a guy the Packers would take in the second round. Like I said, I don't know much about him. But there's also Najee Harris here. I don't see the Packers spending another second-round pick on a running back 2 years in a row. I just can't really see it. You have Creed Humphrey here at center. The Packers do have a need at center. This is definitely a pick they could definitely take here. So I think at this rate, there's Justin Hilliard too at linebacker. So he earned a 82.3 overall grade, and he hasn't played more than 231 snaps in this season. So it's saying he played good in those snaps, but never he didn't play like a lot. I don't like players like that just don't have much tape on them. And safety, like I said, isn't really that big of a need. Marvin Wilson here is interesting, but I think right here, since he's near the top, the Packers have a desperate need at cornerback. I'm gonna go ahead and take Melifonwu. And then I'll go ahead and pause it after these next two picks. Marvin Wilson goes next. And then Tylan Wallace. So I'm just going to go over Melifonwu's profile here. He's Obi's brother. Obi was drafted by the Raiders in the second round and then jumped around. I think he was on the Patriots for a little bit there. They're just seem to be very freak athletes, which is great. His biggest weakness is playing physical, which isn't great. But he does have rare physical tools. So if he could be taught, I feel like that's, something. It's a player that if you teach right and you have a good coach, he could definitely turn into something great. For his pros, he's a rare athlete for his size. You don't see many corners with his build. I know we said that about Kevin King, but here we are. Wingspan to alter catch point consistently gives so much room for error. Explosive burst that shows up breaking on digs and posts, and smooth transition for a player his size. And then for his cons, does not play to his size at all. Could bully guys, but doesn't. So like I said, another coaching thing. Takes a bit to throttle down on stops and comebacks. Seems like a straight edge type of guy. So I don't mind this pick here. Like I said, the Packers definitely have a need for corner. He's a big corner. He can be physical if he's taught. So I could definitely see the Packers liking that. And so now if we continue back on to the third round, try to speed it up here. Paris Ford. You got Cade Johnson going to the Jets. Najee Harris going to the Texans. Can definitely see that. Creed Humphrey, a guy I was looking at going to the Bengals. Jalen Darden from North Texas going to the Eagles. Could definitely see that. And then going down the list, if we look here, Richie Grant, Jamian Sherwood, Kenneth Gainwell. You have Rashad Wild Goose from Wisconsin. Decent, actually really decent corner. If the Packers had gotten Jim Leonard as their defensive coordinator, that's definitely a pick I would have seen them maybe going for there. Now the Packers are on the clock, round 3, pick 92. So at this rate, we have a couple guards up on the board. We have another wide receiver. I really like Amon-Ra St. Brown. It's Equanimeous' brother, but it seems to be he's a lot better. If we hadn't taken Tony in the first, this is definitely a pick here that would have been, looked at, but I think at this rate we might go for an edge guy or a D-line or an offensive lineman. So with this pick, I'm actually looking at Cameron Sample here. If you look at his details, has inside-outside versatility, very versatile guy, 6'3", 280 pounds. He's a power rusher. He can win with his hands, and he earned a 90.4 pass rushing grade in 2020. Like I said, I don't think you can ever have enough pass rushers. I feel like you can always add more edge guys. And with Preston Smith, in my eyes, 99.9% being cut, you have Rashawn Gary and then Randy Ramsey. So I think drafting a edge guy in the 3rd round is definitely something the Packers would end up doing. So with this pick, I'm going to go ahead and take Cameron Sample, edge player out of Tulane. And if we keep it on rolling, I'm not going to, like I said, a lot of these guys haven't heard much about. Ben Cleveland is a huge guard, and then there's St. Brown of the Patriots. Monty Rice is another guy that I was looking at in linebacker. Shakur Brown, another corner, but we already drafted. And then Odiengbo was towards Achilles in January, so I was kind of looking at him, but then wanted to go Sample instead. So I think at this rate, so we already got our corner, we got our wide receiver, and we got our edge player. So right now I think we got to be looking at O-line, D-line, running back, and linebacker. I like what the Packers have at linebacker, but there's a lot of uncertainty there. Chris Barnes played well, but will he get better? He's a great thumper linebacker. He's not good in coverage. Not great in coverage. And then there's a big question mark with Kamal Martin. He showed some flashes of extreme athleticism, but also missed a lot of tackles. So that's a worry there. So maybe the Packers take a developmental linebacker. Hopefully it doesn't repeat Oren Burks. I could definitely see that happening. If they don't bring back Jamal and Aaron, which I don't think they will. I think Jamal might come back, but I'm not exactly sure. Like I said, a running back right around this area is definitely on the board. And then, of course, they could also take another wide receiver. MVS is in the last year of his deal. St. Brown's in the last year of his deal. Devontae, obviously still best receiver in the league. But you want to always, add more talent to that wide receiver room. So if we look above, it's our pick at the 135th pick. If you look above, Dylan Moses from Alabama to Tennessee. Bobby Brown to Miami. You have Rodarius Williams, another corner, to Vikings. Trey Smith, a guard. Sean Wade, a good corner, going to San Fran. So, if we're at 135, round 4, pick 30. That's good. We have, a few guys here that definitely, you have a couple centers here. Drake Jackson out of Kentucky. You have D-line, Marlon Tablotu. Like I said, sorry if I butcher some of these names. You have Kerry Vincent Jr. And then if you go down the list, we have Chuba Hubbard and Trey Sermon and Amari Rodgers. I really like these three. I really like these three, especially in the 4th round. And then you have a couple centers above. Like I said, Drake Jackson, who had an 86.4 in 2020. We have Hansen still, a rookie from last year. He didn't play at all. We don't know what we have with him. And then also Elton Jenkins can play center. Lucas Patrick can play center. And then if they bring back Lane Taylor, he can obviously play pretty much anywhere. So I think at this rate, I'm going to boost the offense a little bit. And I'm stuck between these three here. Chuba Hubbard, you have a decrease in PFF grade from 2019 to 2020. And then, of course, you have Trey Sermon, who just, 18th overall halfback in 2020. And Amari Rodgers, who is also a very sought-after wide receiver in this draft class. So I'm going to do what everyone wished the Packers did last year and draft multiple wide receivers here. I'm just not, extremely sold on these two running backs, especially considering the Packers do have A.J. Dillon, and they don't really provide much, zing and zang when it comes to it. But Amari Rodgers does. Reading up on him a little bit more, it seems he can actually play out of the backfield too. Look at it as, Curtis Samuel, Cordell Patterson. So that's definitely a mismatch the Packers could use. He could be their gadget player, and just getting another weapon for Aaron Rodgers, I think, would just be so vital for this offense. It could add so much more. So with the 4th round pick, I'm taking Amari Rodgers. I do expect the Packers to cut Devin Funchess. That's why I'm actually taking 2 wide receivers in this draft. And like I said, St. Brown kind of had a down year. He might be his final say. I feel if the Packers draft 2 wide receivers like they did here in my mock, they'll definitely get more playing time than St. Brown. So at this rate, the Packers draft pick 142, and we have Marlon Tipolotu at the top. And I don't know much about these guys. So, and then if we go down the list, we still have Drake Jackson at center from Kentucky, who had a wonderful 2020 grade in 86.4. And then you have this Brady Christensen with a 96 graded tackle. Oh my. I don't know much about him. It says he's likely a guard in the NFL. Zone heavy scheme. Okay. But holy shit. He's 6'6", 300 pounds. Hand snatch and don't let go. Rides blocks at the very end. Lets defenders declare their intentions in pass protection. Not antsy at all. So he's stiff out in space. I'm gonna go with him just because of the upside. He is the top-ranked tackle in college football. I know he gets ESCO to BYU, but he's a top-ranked tackle in football. So I'm gonna go ahead and take him just because we're unsure with David Bakhtiari how long he's gonna be out. If the Packers end up cutting Ricky Wagner, and then other situations, if Elton Jenkins has to move into center, Billy Turner might have to play guard. So this is just a developmental tackle that I feel they could definitely provide solid depth for the Packers O-line. So I'm going to go ahead and draft Brady Christensen in the 4th round, pick 37, one of our compensatory picks. So now we're on to the 5th round, and here we're pretty much just drafting based off of rankings and potential need. Like I said, I don't know much about players this late, but I'm going to go ahead and give it my best shot. All right, so we are now on to the Packers' first of 2 5th-round picks, and I'm going to try to make this a little bit quicker because we're down the back ends of the rounds, and like I said, I don't know much. Okay, so looking through these, I'm probably going to go ahead and just try to take a running back here. How about let's draft another quarterback? Let's do that. Let's take Sam Ehlinger here. No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to go Killian Hill. I've heard a little bit about him, and if you go to his profile here, 5th round projection. His biggest strength is explosiveness, and his biggest weakness is setting up blocks. He's 5'10", 210, a senior from Mississippi State. And he's a consistent tackle breaker with a powerful lower half. He has 116 broken tackles on 453 carries, so I'm going to go ahead and take him as a running back option for the Packers in 2021. All right, and we're just, what is this, 1, 2, 4 picks after. The Packers have a 5th round compensatory pick. I thought they might have 2 fourths, like I said, for the over the cap evaluation, but for PFF they have a 4th, a 5th, and a 6th. So here's one of the 5ths. And with this pick, I was thinking about taking another edge guy, but I'm actually going to take Caden Stearns as safety. Raven Green is a restricted free agent, I believe. I don't know if they'll bring him back, so I think they might go for a depth safety player here, and Caden Stearns doesn't look too bad. So draft him there, and soon enough we'll be moving on to the 6th round. All right, our first of 2 picks in the 6th round is pick 215. And, oh yeah, quarterback again, just staring at us in the face. I probably should have taken one in the 1st round, honestly. Probably would have been the best bet there. But looking down here, we have a few edge guys that are extremely high graded through PFF in their edge position. Raymond Johnson III is the 1st graded edge player. I know he is from Georgia Southern, so a lot less talent in that division, but we're going to go ahead and take him just based off of his 91.9 PFF grade here. Then 6 picks after, the Packers have their 6th round compensatory picks, and going down, I'm probably going to end up taking another corner. It's between Chase Lucas, Miles Jones, and Shamar Jean-Charles. And Shamar Jean-Charles just sticks out more to me, so I'm going to go ahead and take Shamar Jean-Charles out of Appalachian State in the 6th round of the 2021 NFL Draft. All right, so now we're coming up on the Packers' last pick of the 2021 NFL Draft. Shout out John Kuhn. Just randomly looked at my camera and saw old buddy John staring at us here. As I said, I don't know much about the draft to the full extent as I usually do at this point in the year. There's so much going on with the salary cap, so much going on with free agents. So I apologize if these late rounds seem kind of just a roll of the dice. I'm kind of just rolling with it. But we're going to go and I'm probably just going to take a linebacker. Of course, no Windows. I do not want to install. I hate these. No, remind me later. I'm probably going to go ahead and probably try to take either a D-line or a linebacker here. And based off of rankings, PFF rankings, I'm going to go ahead and take Tonga here. I'm not going to pronounce his first name because I don't know where to begin with that. But I'm going to go ahead and take Tonga here from BYU. And that will finish up my first ever 2021 Packers mock draft. As I said, I'm going to build onto these. So in the future, obviously, I'll learn more about players, the draft, and I'll start, finding my own steals that I think the Packers could go after in the later rounds. But just to recap, Kadarius Toney, which I know a lot of people like, at wide receiver in the first round. Wouldn't it be something if the Packers take a first-round wide receiver this year? We have Afeatu Melifonwu at corner from Syracuse, Obi's brother, in the second round, who I think has great upside. Cameron Sample out of Tulane, who is a pretty damn good, versatile edge rusher. Amari Rodgers, who a lot of guys like, who can actually play in the backfield and be kind of your gadget guy. Brady Christensen, who I didn't know of, but was ranked number 1 tackle PFF and is an absolute unit. Kylan Hill, good running back. Caden Stearns, safety. Raymond Johnson III, an edge guy out of Georgia Southern, I think was the first ranked edge guy at PFF. Shamar Jean-Charles out of Appalachian State. And Tonga, D-line out of BYU. I got an overall draft grade of B. So not crazy good, but we all know about draft grades. They really don't mean shit. They don't really provide anything, in my opinion. If you want to grade a draft 5 years down the line, go ahead, be my guest. But grading a draft after it happens, and none of these players have seen NFL snaps, is a little silly to me. So let me know what you think about this wonderful mock draft here. And if you saw another guy that I passed up on, and you're probably like, dude, pick him. Why are you not picking him? And you picked some random guy. Let me know in the comments down below. I'm looking to do these probably every couple weeks just to kind of refresher, and as prospects and draft grades and all that change and we get closer to the draft. So on that note, I'll catch you all on the next one. As always, go Pack Go.